Welcome to Rewrite Reality, where we peel back the layers of how we imagine our world, then explore what it means to build different futures. I'm Gregg the Artivist, and on today's episode, we'll dive into recalibrating time. Join me to reflect, challenge assumptions, and spark possibility. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. We live in a world ruled by the clock. Schedules, deadlines, notifications. We're measured in hours and minutes, and the faster we go, the more productive we're told we are. But the truth, we all know, is that clock time is a human invention. It's an industrial time, it's factory time, and while it may have helped us organize our economies, it has also pulled us out of sync with the deeper rhythms that actually keep us alive. Because as we know, life doesn't run on the clock, it runs on cycles, seasons, light and dark, growth and decay, the rest of winter, the surge of spring. When I step into the garden, I remember this. Plot Zero doesn't care about my calendar. Seeds germinate when the soil's warm, not when my to-do list says they should, as much as I would like it to. Broccoli takes as long as broccoli takes. And the rabbits, they don't care if I have a meeting. They need feeding when they're hungry. This contrast makes me realize how distorted our sense of time has become. You know, we rush, but we rarely arrive. We're busy, but we're rarely present. And the more we cram into the schedule, the more alienated we feel from the world that actually sustains us. I think this is why so many of us are exhausted. Because it's not just overwork, it's disorientation. Our bodies know they're out of rhythm. And here's the part, though, that I find strangely hopeful. Rhythms can be recalibrated. We can't escape clock time entirely, of course, but we can weave living time back into our days. For me, it started small. I started a routine whereby for 15 minutes each morning I go to my garden, preferably before I touch a screen unless it's turning off the alarm. This morning I was watching the way the light falls differently this month than it did in June, noticing when the pigeons were roosting, when the rabbits were, or how the rabbits were feeling restless, and thinking, when might that broccoli finally sprout? These tiny markers remind me that I'm not separate from the seasons. I'm just inside them. Even work changes when I honor this. Instead of grinding through endless hours, I carve out 1 or 2 deep blocks where my mind is sharp, and then I stop. It's not laziness, it's alignment, and it's living by energy, not by pressure. So here's a small action I invite us all to try this week. Create a 5-day micro journey of living time. Each morning, let's step outside for 5 minutes before we check phones. Choose one 90-minute block for deep work or deep rest each day uninterrupted, and take one walk at sunset. Notice how it feels. Notice what shifts within you. And here's my personal moment on this. I used to pride myself on how much I could cram into a day. Emails at midnight, projects stacked on top of projects. But the truth is, I wasn't really present for any of it. Recalibrating to living time has made me less efficient, yes, but far more alive. And in a world that's unraveling, being alive feels more urgent than being efficient. Because I think the bigger picture here is, if we can't recalibrate our rhythms, how will we ever recalibrate the way we live on this planet? The climate crisis is, at the heart, a crisis of time. Too much acceleration, too little respect for limits. Relearning says seasonal time isn't just personal self-care, it's a practice for a different kind of future. So I'll leave you with my question for the week. If you stopped letting the clock rule your every move, what rhythms would you return to? And what might change in your life if you let seasons, not schedules, set the pace? Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Rewrite Reality. If this resonated, I would love to hear from you. So please do leave a comment wherever you're listening. What are you feeling? What came up for you? What's your take on today's topic? And consider sharing it with someone who might also be thinking deeply about the world around them. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes as we keep peeling back the layers and reimagining what's possible. And if you haven't already, check out Gregg the Artivist app. It's your hub for everything from listen podcast episodes like this one to watch featured videos to upcoming online and offline events. And it's also the easiest way to stay connected with our growing community. You can download it now from the App Store for iPhone users or Google Play for Android. If you prefer, there's always gregtheartivist.com for supportive information and more to this and all other episodes. Until next time, it's bye from me for now.